The low hum of the air conditioner barely cut through the heavy silence that weighed on the apartment. Maverick leaned against the marble counter, his fingertips tapping restlessly while his eyes lingered on Aurora. Her brow was tense, her thumb flicking over her phone in the same agitated rhythm he had seen countless times before. He didn't need to ask. It was her mother again. Margaret Holloway's sharp, unrelenting presence always managed to seep into their marriage, filling the cracks with poison. "She thinks we should rent a villa in Tuscany for our anniversary," Aurora muttered, her gaze never leaving the screen. Her voice was clipped, defensive. "Says the weekend in the mountains feels quaint." Quaint. Maverick almost laughed, though bitterness soured the word on his tongue. Quaint wasn't just a judgment. It was Margaret's way of declaring something beneath her standard. That was her trademark. Dismissive elegance. The curse of a woman who had never forgiven her daughter for choosing a high school history teacher instead of marrying into a dynasty. He had tried once. He had endured the dinners, the expensive gestures, even pretending to care about Margaret's endless lectures on security and appearances. But after 5 years, all those efforts had curdled into something like quiet contempt. "We agreed on the cabin," he reminded her gently, straightening from the counter. Aurora finally looked up. Her hazel eyes carried an emotion he couldn't quite place. Shame, irritation, maybe both. "It's not about what we want, Mav. It's about appearances. You know how she is." Appearances. The Holloway family gospel. Maverick turned toward the window, staring at the Boston street glistening under rain. Their loft had been Aurora's idea. A compromise after Margaret sneered at their first apartment for being unfit for hosting. Over time, though, the place had stopped feeling like home. It felt staged, curated for an audience he had never invited. Later that evening, while he sat grading essays on the couch, Aurora emerged from their room dressed in a sleek black dress he didn't recognize. A faint trace of perfume, luxurious, floral, expensive, clung to her skin. "Date night?" he asked, trying for lightness. "Just drinks with Clara," she replied, fastening the diamond studs he had saved for months to buy. "She's going through a divorce." "At 1 in the morning?" "She's a night owl." Aurora slipped on her heels, avoiding his eyes. "Don't wait up." The door shut behind her. Maverick stared at the essays before him, but the words dissolved. His phone sat silent beside him. Last week Clara had texted, asking if Aurora was okay, mentioning her absence from book club. Suspicion tasted foreign, ugly, but he couldn't shake it. When the phone finally rang, it was 2 in the morning. A voice identified itself as Officer Briggs. His wife, an accident, hospital, stable condition. The drive to Mass General was a blur of wet asphalt and red lights. He burst into the ER to find Aurora sitting upright, a bandage across her forehead, the black dress now marked with dirt. Relief washed over him, until his eyes found the man at her side. Tall, broad-shouldered, exuding Wall Street polish, his hand rested on Aurora's shoulder with a familiarity that made Maverick's chest burn. "You must be Maverick," the man said smoothly, extending a hand. "Lucas Green. I saw her car spin out. Lucky I stopped." Maverick shook his hand numbly, his throat too tight. Aurora avoided his gaze. The ride home was suffocating. Aurora stared out the window, arms folded, her reflection flickering in the neon-lit glass. "It was just a skid," she said quietly. "Where was Clara tonight?" Maverick asked. Her silence was its own answer. The next morning, sunlight revealed a single diamond stud glinting on the passenger seat of his car. Aurora hadn't worn them the night before. The faint trace of unfamiliar cologne lingered in the upholstery. At lunch, he found himself scrolling through Aurora's Instagram. A rooftop bar he didn't know, captioned "Midnight Therapy." Same night she had claimed to be consoling Clara. Reflected in her sunglasses was Lucas, smirking into the camera. After that, the signs became impossible to ignore. The late-night calls, the luxury lingerie hidden away, the way she flinched when he reached for her. One afternoon,